Another cost that needs thinking about when you're allocating resources to your project is the ability to assign fixed costs. A fixed cost is a set value that needs to be included in your project pricing, but might not necessarily actually belong to a specific task or might not have a specific reason. Now, there are two ways of looking at fixed costs. One is to use our miscellaneous cost type, which we have already. We added that into our resource sheet, miscellaneous, that allows us to assign costs of any value that we like to our tasks. Back in the Gantt chart, if I wanted to add some kind of fixed cost, perhaps to the emptying the cupboards, I could go into my resources, pick on the miscellaneous option, and set a cost of 100, and that will assign 100 miscellaneous dollars to emptying the cupboards. Now that will work. It will add to the costs of the project. If we go to project, project information and statistics, we see the current cost is that $100 I've just added. However, using the resource sheet cost type items means that they appear on the Gantt chart, which means I get these miscellaneous, miscellaneous, miscellaneous. What might be better is if I used the fixed cost option that is available within Microsoft Project. Now that can be done by changing this table. So I go back to the task ribbon and then come to view. Here's the table section. We have looked at other tables before and we choose the cost table. In the cost table, I can see my 100 miscellaneous dollars there in the total cost, but we also have a new column here, a fixed cost column. So I can assign a fixed cost value that has no reason or rhyme to it to any of my tasks, any of my summary tasks, or even to the project as a whole by putting that fixed cost value here right at the top. So if I wanted to assign a fixed cost value of $10,000 to my whole kitchen project, I've got the same accrual methods that we have when we allocating our resources of a start, pro rata, or end. Let's place this at the end. So my $10,000 becomes payable at the end of the whole project. And then go back to project, project information, statistics, and the $10,000 or fixed cost, which might be a contingency fund of some kind, is added into the cost so that I can see it at the cost stages. So it's not allocated to any particular resource, any particular task. It's just $10,000 added as a fixed cost to the whole project by placing it here in the task 0, the summary task. Nothing to stop me adding other fixed costs down this column to other tasks or even summary tasks. So we have two methods of adding our fixed costs in, either using this fixed cost column in the cost sheet, which I can then change back to my normal table, so table's entry table when I no longer wish to use it, or I can use the clever cost type resource. In our case, we call that miscellaneous. So I can then assign to individual tasks a miscellaneous fixed cost value of any type, any size, as I see fit. Plastering the walls might require one, for example. So again, I choose my little miscellaneous option, $300. Who knows what it's for? But it gets assigned and it's in the resource name listed here, and it then appears as a resource on the Gantt chart, whereas the fixed costs entered in the cost entry table do not appear on the Gantt chart. So really it's depending where you want that value to appear. Do I want it to appear on the Gantt chart like this one here as a miscellaneous, or do I want it just hidden away in the costs? So it's using it when it's calculating the cost of the whole project, but it's not displaying it blatantly on the Gantt chart.